Here's the part about diffusion versus osmosis versus transport that confuses almost everyone.
Welcome to this explainer. Right now, every single second, there is a vast, invisible metropolis inside your body that is hard at work. We're going to dive into exactly how millions of molecular packages are delivered daily just to keep you alive. And to make these complex biological mechanisms super easy to grasp, we'll be using a simple city delivery system analogy. Let's get into it. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll look at the delivery fleet, downhill coasting, the uphill haul, compare the trio, run through a quick pop quiz, and wrap things up with a study checklist. To set the stage, I want you to picture the cell membrane as the bustling city limits. It's a highly guarded, differentially permeable border, which means it requires an incredibly coordinated system to let vital nutrients in and push metabolic waste out. If this continuous, perfectly timed movement stops, the city simply shuts down. Section 1, the delivery fleet. Your cellular city actually relies on exactly 3 main delivery systems. Biologists categorize them this way to keep things clear, appropriately calling them the transport trio. Getting a solid handle on how these 3 interact is absolutely crucial for understanding human physiology and, of course, acing your exams. Section 2, downhill coasting. First step in our trio is diffusion. Imagine a delivery cart just coasting effortlessly downhill from a packed warehouse into a totally empty neighborhood. Because it's moving down the concentration gradient from high to low concentration until everything is evenly distributed, it doesn't need a single drop of fuel. It is a completely passive process. This passive coasting is a total game changer for the human city. Take your lungs, for instance. Inside the alveoli, oxygen is highly concentrated, so it just passively diffuses right into your blood while carbon dioxide diffuses out. After you eat, highly concentrated nutrients in your small intestine coast straight into your bloodstream. And in your kidneys, diffusion provides that initial, effortless push for filtering metabolic wastes out of your blood. Now, the second member of our trio is osmosis. If diffusion is the delivery cart for gases and nutrients, osmosis is the city's dedicated water main. This term is exclusively reserved for water molecules moving from an area of high water potential to lower water potential. It's the key to regulating internal fluid pressure, or turgidity. If you've ever done that experiment where potato slices get really firm or soft in different liquids, you've seen osmosis in action. It's all about water moving in or out. Section 3, the uphill haul. So what happens when the city needs to push garbage out of a neighborhood that's already completely packed? Well, you can't coast uphill. To move something from low concentration to a higher one against the gradient, you need heavy-duty tow trucks. And those trucks, they need fuel. Your cells pay for this in the form of ATP energy. Without that ATP, this active transport simply cannot happen. We absolutely need these molecular pumps because downhill coasting just isn't always enough. Active transport is specifically responsible for moving larger molecules and mineral ions that can't pass passively. A great example is in the nephrons of your kidneys, which actively haul specific ions against the gradient to maintain fluid balance. Plant roots do the exact same thing to pump scarce mineral ions from the soil into their highly concentrated cells. This brilliantly illustrates the core difference between these two systems. On the one hand, passive coasting via diffusion is totally free, moving from high to low. On the other hand, the uphill haul of active transport forces things from low to high, and that effort is going to cost the cell ATP energy. Section 4, comparing the trio. Let's look at the data side by side to really lock this in. Notice how active transport is the only system that requires energy, and the only one going from low to high. Meanwhile, diffusion and osmosis both flow from high to low, completely passively. If you understand these exact energy needs, directions, and biological sites, you've got the blueprint to the entire cellular transport system. Section 5, Pop Quiz. Let's test that knowledge. Take a look at these 3 processes: food absorption, urine formation, and gaseous exchange. Which of these uses diffusion? Remember, think about where high concentrations naturally want to flow down to lower ones. Let's break it down step by step. First, after digestion, nutrients in the small intestine definitely passively diffuse into the blood. Second, the kidneys absolutely rely on diffusion for that initial waste filtration. And third, gaseous exchange in the lungs is the classic textbook example of diffusion. So the correct answer is 1, 2, and 3. Passive diffusion is a major player in all of them. Section 6, Study Checklists. Keep this checklist handy and you'll never miss a transport question. If you see against a gradient or ATP,
Boom, active transport. Spot the words passive or respiratory surface, you're dealing with diffusion. And here is a huge trap to avoid. If it says movement of water only, that is osmosis. Never ever use the word osmosis when talking about oxygen or food. It is the water main, period.
Your very existence literally depends on billions of these invisible delivery trucks working perfectly every single second. From the passive coasting of oxygen into your blood to the active hauling of waste out of your kidneys, it is an incredible system. But it really makes you wonder, what happens to the entire cellular metropolis if the city's ATP power grid suddenly goes down? Think about that, and we'll see you in the next explainer.
As always, the link for this study tool is in the description below. Let me know what you think in the comments.